Hi, I'm Tara. This is Emma. And I thought it'd be fun to have Emma here with me for this yoga video because this is all about our primal body responses, the wisdom of our bodies that we forget. Your brain gets in charge and then we don't listen to those primal reactions that are meant to help us. And what I'm talking about is yawning. So if you're in one of my live classes, we spent this week yawning. And for some people, it's a little hard. So yawning, we think, oh, I'm gonna be rude, or someone's gonna think that I'm insulting them because this presentation is boring, or oh, I'm so tired. Why am I so tired? It's only 10 o'clock in the morning. But that really isn't all of what yawning is. Yawning is a primal response. Dogs do it all the time. They wake up from a horizontal sleeping position and they stretch their bodies and they yawn. They open their mouths, they stick out their tongues, and they yawn. It is a regulation of the nervous system. So it brings us from a horizontal state into a vertical state, or it helps us regulate for the other direction. And it can be a signal that maybe our bodies do want to take a rest. And so, who cares if it's 10 in the morning, unless you're in the middle of work. But maybe starting to listen to those messages that the body is giving us can be very helpful. So, this is an exercise called pandiculation. Pandiculation is basically any gentle flow movement: Tai Chi, Qigong, gentle yoga, a Hatha flow. These movements are ancient and they exist for a reason. It's because they work. They work really well with our primal responses. Pandicularis is a Greek word that simply means a slow, repetitive movement. So you think about just kind of rocking from side to side and how that's calming to many of our nervous systems. Especially if we're listening to music, we might just kind of naturally move from side to side. We are going back to our very first movement within the womb when we were rhythmically being rocked. It's our earliest memory. So it is a nourishing type of movement. So let's play with pandiculation just for a few minutes for this video. What I'd like you to do is we're just going to focus on one muscle group. Pandiculation works for anywhere you have tension in the body. And the idea is not just to release tension in one muscle, but the idea of pandiculation is that it releases a whole pattern of tension. And that's what we get into. We get into these chronic loops where we have pain in a certain area and maybe there's no more injury there, but it's a loop. It's an automated response. And so we want to disrupt that. So we disrupt that by changing the rhythm. So this is very slow and very even. I'm going to have you really focus on your exhale. So wherever you are, whether you're standing or sitting, just take a moment to kind of settle a little bit. And you might have a little bit of movement to help you settle into your feet or your seat. And now take an inhale. And as you exhale, really focus on your exhale from the whole beginning, the middle, and the end of your exhale. Give yourself a slight pause, be there, and then allow that next inhale to happen. Focus on your exhale. Notice the beginning, the middle, and the end. Pause. Take one more inhale. Slow exhale, middle, the beginning, the middle, and the end of that exhale. Pause. And now just allow your breath to return to natural. That was a pandiculated breath, a little bit different rhythm than your natural rhythm. You brought your awareness to a part of the breath. That's a huge, huge part of this. We don't want to be thinking about a grocery list during a pandiculation practice. It's about mindfully connecting to this present moment. So we will focus on the exhale, and I wanted you to practice kind of feeling into that type of breath where you really slow down the exhale. So the way that we'll do this is first we're going to practice yawning. So take a nice deep inhale, and then on your exhale, drop your jaw as much as you can. I turn this side so you don't have to look down my throat. Do another one. Really drop your jaw. And if a real yawn happens, let it, allow it to have its full extension. Now allow come back to your natural breath and start to massage right under. So you have your collarbones right here, and then this little divot where the collarbones meet. Just underneath that, start to give that a little bit of a massage. And let me tell you about yawning. So when you yawn, you are stretching the muscles. You're putting a little muscle tension, releasing some energy from that primal stress brain, the animal brain that's right back there at the back of the brain. So you're helping to release some of that stress reaction. And most of the time, we don't even know we're in stress. We might feel tension or tightness in our bodies, but we're just trying to motor onward. So doing that kind of big stretch is activating that connection and helping to create a little more space. Space is what we need. That helps draw more oxygen in. The next thing we're doing as you're yawning is activate the vagus nerve bundle, which is that largest bundle of nerves outside the spinal column. Runs down the front of the body. Think of that as the mothering, nurturing part of the nervous system. Takes care of our heart rate, takes care of our digestion, our reproductive functions, and our hormonal system. So you're stimulating a lot of things. This is a regulation of the nervous system. So you take a nice deep inhale and then yawn. Now, it might not surprise you that if I yawned and you really didn't think you were going to yawn, and then all of a sudden you find yourself yawning, that's because humans' body wisdom is all about co-regulating. So we help each other. We say that a yawn is catching. Co-regulation of our nervous system is something we want to do together. That is our body wisdom. So we're trusting the body's wisdom just a little bit more than what the conscious brain thinks the story is about. Okay. So wiggle your shoulders a little bit. We're going to focus on the trapezoid muscle. It's this triangular shaped muscle, connects to the spine and to the shoulder bones and around to the collarbones. So it's kind of a large muscle, and it's one of the places where we can have a lot of tension. So whether you have tension in this spot or not, practice this with me, and then you can use it on a different place that has tension. So we're going to purposefully tighten this muscle, and you'll think, wait a minute, it's already tense and tight. Why am I going to do more? But again, remember, we're trying to shock the body out of a pattern that it's in, a chronic loop pattern, maintain some equilibrium, and invite that nervous system regulation so that this release of tension happens throughout the body. It's never just one muscle, right? It's a whole family of things that are involved. So we'll breathe in. There's just 3 parts. Breathe in, tighten up the muscle as much as you can, and then yawn as you incrementally release. So it should take, 10, maybe 12 counts to fully release. And then you just do a couple softening breaths where you just imagine softening and relaxing it even more. And then we'll do that on this side. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Inhale, lift that shoulder up, squeeze, inhale a little more, and now yawn. Little by little, release that shoulder. And then a couple of soft, relaxing breaths. Relaxing the shoulder down, 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 down. Softer than you think you can. Okay, now let's do this side. Inhale, lift up, rise up, squeeze up. Inhale a little bit more deeply, and now yawn incrementally, releasing that shoulder. I'm kind of exaggerating, but you get the idea. Slowly. And then when that yawn finishes, whenever it finishes, a couple of soft, gentle, flowing kind of breaths, relaxing, 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 softening, softening, softening. And that's it. So 3 parts. Tighten, voluntarily tighten the muscle that's already tense. 2, yawn slowly, 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 incrementally, 10 to 12 seconds of release. Take a few soft, relaxing breaths. and then maybe do the other side or do a few more, and then just kind of see how you feel. If you feel looser, if you feel a little bit more relaxed in your shoulders, I mean, I was probably like a 7 in the tightness of my trapezoids, and now, I don't know, maybe a 6, maybe a 5. So even a little small incremental change is worth noticing. That means you disrupted the system and you're helping your body to come back into equilibrium. And that's just going to make life a little bit easier. So I hope you've enjoyed this short prescription yoga practice. If you're interested and you live in the Pacific Northwest in my area, I will be teaching a workshop called Release the Psoas, which is all about helping hip flexibility and maintaining balance and equilibrium for the hips. So I look forward to seeing you. Thank you for joining me.